everybody. I want to shoot something different here today in that I have a car I got to work on, which you really don't see too much on this channel. You see a lot of farm equipment, stuff like that. And hang on, let me clean out this lens for you guys. How's that look? Better? All right, cool. So this is my buddy Taylor's 2021 M340i. I tinted these side windows a long time ago, and he finally wanted me to go through and ceramic buff and ceramic coat it. And he actually got a new windshield, so I have a dryer sheet on there to basically help me shrink the film. Lets the film slide, but yeah, otherwise I did the sides already a few months back. It is a blue on white spec, and he actually replaced this windshield is the reason why I got to redo it. I actually did it a few months back. Got this B-pillar off, got the mirror taken off. He had a radar detector, a few stickers, stuff like that, license plate up there. So I got all that ripped off. The only thing I want to show you is right in here, when they installed the new windshield, they put way too much gas or semen seal or something like that. So I'm having to go through and literally chip this and cut it out. So it's gonna take a little while. I was hoping maybe I could get the windshield done and installed today, but I don't know if it's gonna be looking like that. So on these cars, little T25 screw right behind this airbag cover. And then all you gotta do is take this, pop out the top clip, pull the rest, and straight up. Pretty easy. But what I will show you guys is what I am having to cut out, which is a lot. It's not very fun. Dig it out, and it's not that easy. I'm gonna have to do that at least a dozen or two more times. So okay, so what I am gonna do here now is plot out Taylor's windshield. It's all pre-cut, so I never take a knife to a person's vehicle or anything like that. The only time I need to cut on a vehicle is when it's a custom window, like farm equipment, stuff like that, things I don't have the plots for, but that's very rare. Okay, good news. I found the roll. This is kind of a show slash sport car, so we are going a little bit darker on the windshield. But all I gotta do is load this guy up by putting him in the back, getting my rollers lined up. So now I'm gonna go into my system here, parts search, category, window film, 2021, make, BMW, 3 Series, M340i. I don't know why there's 2 of them. So what I do is hit plot. This guy, roll basically gets sent through. And it basically starts cutting out that shape. Okay, so I got the tint right here. It's cut out to the shape of it. And being this windshield is curved, I have to conform it to the shape of the windshield. So think about it as like wrapping a basketball for Christmas with wrapping paper. Same concept, other than those wrinkles, I have to basically shrink down.
I say hello, 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 hello. You can't do what I do, that's just something you don't. I make this look easy from the way that I told.
The next day.
Okay guys, so it's the next day. Yes, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. Washed it last night, it's fine. So I ended up getting the windshield here all shrunk out, so now I just gotta go through, install it, and then next up is decon wash and get this thing ready to get polished out and coated.
I be like Rock the Great One. I lay a smack down when I'm on the station. I never back down, I'm an inspiration. Illuminate a little with imagination. Now who the hell telling me to leave the basement? It's over, face it. It's been too long, there's a new replacement. Y'all motherfuckers need to learn some patience. 9 to 5s ain't allowed, that's a slave. Money come quick, even quicker when it go. Money come quick, something burnt in your soul. No, you can't feel the hoe, cause you ain't in control. If you money, 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 ain't it funny how it goes. Money come quick, even quicker when it goes.
that definitely sucked. So I didn't remove enough of that gasket material, so I was in here fighting this whole edge on both sides. But other than that though, actually really clean install for what it is. Okay, so in terms of a decon wash on this guy, what I'm gonna go through and do is clean up the wheels as best I can. And then the paint is gonna get a super high alkaline, basically soap applied to it. And then we're basically gonna wash it with that to try to strip off any sealants or anything like that that might be on this thing. And then after that, we do an iron remover and a clay. And then I start going through and polishing it all up, and then it's ready for coating. Okay, so as you guys saw here, I cleaned up the wheels, did a thorough decon wash. I first started with an alkaline wash. That was what you saw me foam on, and then I did a rinseless wash, and then sprayed my iron remover on there, clayed it in, and then final rinse it off. And you can just see the water is just parked on there, which is actually a good thing, because that means that there's no protection left. So, pretty sure this thing had something, like kind of one of those spray rinse things that car washes have. I think this had a lot of that on there yet, but now it's all stripped off for the most part, or at least 90% of it. You can almost see what kind of paint conditions I'm dealing with. But got the trunk lid all cut. I still need to finish it, but it actually finished down really nice. So think of this as like 85% done. The last 10% I'll get with polishing, then the last 5 I'll get with the coating, because coating is going to add quite a bit of gloss and stuff like that. One of the tools I wanted to show you guys is, before we start any paint correction on any vehicle, we use this little thing. So what we use is a paint depth gauge. Now what this tells us is how much paint there is to work with, right? Because the last thing we want to do is blow through all of his clear. So what we do is we put it up to the paint, try to put it on the paint, and it tells us how thick it is. So I have not polished this versus this area I have, and you can see I've taken off about 8 on average UMs. I need to figure out how to switch this thing over to microns, because that's kind of what the US uses. But what I will show you is still scratched, swirled, but this over here I already cut. So if I put the meter here, showing 101. If I move it over here to this side, it's showing 100. So what that tells me is, by basically cutting it, I'm not removing a whole heck of a lot of paint. And I can still do the same thing with the trunk and everything like that. And what I can actually do too is save all the files or all the readings and create a profile and show the customer, like, hey, here's how much paint we took off, here's how much you have left, here's how much we started with, stuff like that. So let's see if this fender will see. And then you get some weird things like this fender, where if I put it on, see how it shows 154, and then the back where I haven't shows 150. So paint varies wildly in terms of thickness and stuff like that. Kind of just depends on the day at the factory when they're spraying the car. And working on Taylor's car for most of the day today, Fender is done, hood is done, most of this door is done, part of this door is done, roof is done, trunk lid is done. So now, coming across this thing, there's, you know, a few deeper scratches. I wonder, there we go, the light right there. There's also got a really gnarly rock chip right there. So I went to the gym and then I called up ABS. It's like a local paint supply, like automotive place. I got some touch-up paint. So I'm gonna try and attempt to do is fill these in, sand them smooth, and polish them out. It's not gonna look 100% perfect, but this whole car, you know, you can't expect 100% on an automotive vehicle. But what I am going for is 90%. So with that being said, you guys get to watch me do some touch-up paint. There we go. Now once I polish all that out and sand it smooth, hopefully you should not be able to really tell it was ever there.
The next day.
Hey guys, so it's been a few days. Today is currently Wednesday, so just didn't record much yesterday. There wasn't too much to see other than just me going through and cutting it. So the whole entire car is now completely cut. I did on this back bumper, he had some scuff marks from the previous owner here, some suitcase marks. So I literally had to wet sand this entire rear bumper out. Started with 1,000, then went to 1,500, then 2,000, then 3,000, and then finished it with 5,000 and cut it all out. So, but no, otherwise, on this car, really just kind of aiming for a 90% correction. There's no such thing as perfect paint or 100% paint. He's got some deep scratches on the roof. He's got a ton of rock chips on the front. So it's not gonna make sense for me to get this thing absolutely perfect when the car is just ultimately not gonna be perfect anyways. But with that being said, I mean, it did almost change a shade of blue now. But yeah, you can just see all the polishing dust here that's on the hood from me cutting and everything. So I do have to go through. I am going to rewash the car now before I start the polishing, because after I'm done polishing, then I get straight into coating, which I think I'm gonna coat tomorrow. I think today, if I got it washed and completely polished up, I would be sitting very good. Okay, so good news. The entire driver's side of this car and the trunk, the roof, and part of the hood is all polished out. So what I did for this guy is I cut it with a DA. Now I'm finishing it out with a rotary quick and just a light polish. When I did cut it, the stuff I was using actually finished out really good. So there's not too much in terms of like shine that I'm adding, or sometimes what can happen is if you cut the car too hard or you don't have the right compound, it can leave almost tick marks or a haze. I don't have any of that even after prepping it and stuff like that. I double checked everything. So this is just kind of to amplify the gloss and to say that I polished it. Otherwise, this could have actually passed for a one-step correction, but. Okay, so still working here on Taylor's car. The entire car is completely cut and polished. I did go through and just kind of did a half prep step, which includes just spraying it down with rinseless and wiping off all the dust, getting all the crap out of the nooks and crannies here and stuff like that. So now I'm gonna go through, take my prep solution and start wiping it down and getting it ready for coating. Okay, now Taylor's car here is completely prepped. It's basically ready to receive the coating. So as you can see, all the work that I did to get to this point is what makes this super easy. So all the cutting, all the polishing, cleaning out the jams, rinsing everything off, making sure my pads are clean, just all that is what allows me to get to this step now. So all the wet sanding in the back bumper, the touch-up paint, all that. I mean, now it's, I mean, the car basically has the depth of a black car, essentially. But So now comes the ceramic coating time. So Taylor has opted for the 5-year warranted coating, and that comes in a little package like this. So pretty, I wouldn't say easy coating. It is on the easier side. It's one single layer, which is nice, but it has super high chemical resistance and stuff like that. It's actually okay to use on sprayers and all the farm equipment that we use because of its durability and stuff. Okay, so for this part here, I got 2 towels, my applicator and my coating. These 2 towels, they're from the Rag Company. This one's a Pearl, and then this one's an Eagle 350. And what I'm gonna do here is shake up the coating, get it mixed up and ready to rock. And I'm gonna take my applicator, and what I'm gonna do at first is prime the applicator, so I'm gonna use way more than what I normally need. It's about that much onto it. Now, the biggest thing is, a lot of people, they have different techniques for how they apply a coating. At the end of the day, the coating doesn't care how it gets put on. It just wants even coverage. So what I like to do is, I work at a panel at a time, so I'm gonna do this whole fender. And what I do is I make a puddle line, and now I work from that puddle line outward. And now I just gotta wait for it to basically, a lot of people call it flash or changing phase, or there's different terminologies. But basically, that's actually kind of weird, the coating halfway disappeared. You might be able to see right here, if I can get the light to capture it just right. Basically I'm waiting for the solvents that are in this coating to basically flash off. It takes anywhere from about 30 seconds to a minute, and it's just kind of a waiting game right now. So, edgeless, try to remove, the goal right now is not to completely remove the coating or level out the coating completely. The goal right now is to get about 80% of it off, or leveled. And then, what I'm gonna do is swap over to my 350. This is gonna get my last remainder 20. You always wanna make sure if you're ever coating something that you cross over into the adjacent panels when you're wiping, just in case you got some coating on there, because you don't want a high spot on your edges. But now, they go through. That's it. This fender is done and protected for the next 5 years. Hey, so today is Saturday. It's been 48 hours since we've coated Taylor's car here. I just had to move out of the way. We did a boat tier last night and stuff, but I almost forgot to record an outro for you guys. So as you can see, the car looks, I mean, night and day difference. But here's the coolest part. When he goes to wash it, I mean, he can basically dry it off with water. And the best part too is that this coating has a 5-year warranty on it, so any problems he's gonna have for the next 5 years, he's covered. Another cool thing about our coating too is 4 hours after we're done, it can get wet, it can get released into the wild, it can do whatever you need to do. It can't get washed for about 2 weeks because that's full cure. But yeah, that's one of the awesome things is that we don't have to let the car sit for a week on end in a little bubble and can't get dust on it. It doesn't matter. You know, as long as that 4-hour window is checked, you can do whatever you want with this thing. So I did end up doing a little bit of a mini photo shoot, I'd call it that, the other day. So I'll send them over to Adam and he can maybe try to throw them in this video too. Other than that, that's gonna do it for me and Taylor's car here. I gotta get this back over to Sioux Falls at some point this weekend, but I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, that sort of stuff. Kind of helps out the algorithm, show this video to other people, and we'll see you next time.
Follow in my footsteps, I say hello, 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 hello. You can't do what I do, that's just something you don't. I make this look easy from the way that I told. Wanted mention, I be turning suckers to ghosts. I be like Rock the Great One, I lay a smack down when I'm on the station. I never back down, I'm an inspiration. Illuminate a little with imagination. Now who the hell telling me to leave the basement? It's over.